Okay, everybody, welcome to 2023. Finally, starting back up the season of Gaykeeping. But this time, we actually have a full-time co-host, and who you all may know. You won't get to see a video, so you'll have to wait till he speaks. But Michael, from 2 episodes from the last season, is now going to be our official co-host. Michael, you want to say hi?
Hi everybody. Like Robert said, I will be official co-host and I am excited to delve into something new. So I can't wait.
And so how this came about was because I was already planning the next season of Gatekeeping, but it's so hard to last season was hard enough, like trying to find a new person every single week to have on and like be a co-host. And then planning this time is like schedule wise with everybody and then finding enough people and like just people committing was very hard. Then I saw Michael post that he was interested in starting a podcast. So I was like, well, why don't you just, if you would be interested to
Co-host,
be the
yeah.
co-host of this one? And that's how we came
Yeah.
to be.
And honestly, like I think I prefer to be a co-host. Just because, I feel like I'm always working and doing something. So this is gonna be a lot easier for me.
Yeah. I'll take on most of the responsibility when it comes to like editing and stuff. So how have you been since the last time we spoke?
Oh God, how long has that been?
I don't know. It's been
It's
like
been a long time.
almost a whole year since mm, almost a year since I stopped uploading. So, and you were the last
Oh,
episode. So,
yeah, I mean, I moved to Corpus the end of November, beginning of December. I became a store manager, so that's new. Living here in Corpus. The last time I actually went down to the valley was my birthday, so the beginning of January. I haven't been back since. I want to go back. Um, but yeah.
well, luckily that's not that far of a drive. What is Corporate? Like an hour and a half, two
Like
hours?
yeah, like 2.5 hours every time I go down.
I I really dislike driving, so I don't think I could. I don't think visiting would be enough for me to like come down.
But yeah, and yeah, I'm the exact same way. Like there was, don't get me wrong, like when I first moved over here, I was excited to be going back, but the drive, it was just like, oh man, like I don't want to keep making this drive every week or every 2 weeks. So like as much as I miss it, not having to make that drive in the last month has been like, I don't know, a relief.
Yeah, I don't. I especially by if it's a drive by myself, I can't like. Somebody needs to be there like 30 45 minutes plus drives. Somebody else needs to be there also to help keep me entertained.
hmm No, yeah, I agree.
So last time you were on, last time you were on, it was Pride Month. That was the last episode that we did. So it was around when's Pride?
June, July,
Okay, so that's
midway.
that was like around the time that we did the last one. And then so okay, so that one was a Pride topic. And then the first episode that you were on was kind of like it was a mix of topics, but mostly surrounding it was more like a sex positive episode.
hmm It
So
was, it was.
in your in the same post where you mentioned you wanted to start a new podcast, you also talked about possibly starting up the OnlyFans again. So where are you at with that in your thinking?
The OnlyFans. Oh God. Like there's a part of me that misses it. Um, you miss the money, you miss the attention, I guess, that comes along with it. Not all of it, um, some of it. And when I took that step back from it and I pulled myself out of it, I was like, I don't know, like I was happy. I've been really happy. There are parts of me that miss it. But now currently, like since we're on the subject of OnlyFans, um, I have a boyfriend now, so it's trying to find like that middle ground of, I want this, but I have this, and it's it's give and take, I guess. So
Yeah.
there's been no confirmation of it returning. There's been no denial of it returning. So we're just kind of in a gray area right now.
I've seen a lot of people from the area have started some, which is it's interesting because like if you're a local, it's like drag queens. Like if you're a local queen, if you're a local OnlyFans person, like you don't have a fan base, so you're kind of putting yourself out there. Not you. I'm saying like if you're just a new one, a new person that just wants to start, and you don't already have a following on social media, it's like you're kind of putting yourself out there and in a vulnerable position to criticism,
Mhm.
judgment, like, and it's kind of like what's the payoff, because it takes a while for you to earn that following, and it's just very I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe we touched on this on the last one, but it's like kudos to anybody who wants to do that, because it takes a lot of, you got to be brave to do that.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It comes with the territory, the criticism, the looks, the touching, the judgment, and it's everything. Um, I have seen a lot of people. Of course, like I still have my Twitter open, so I see a lot of people whose content gets like, I guess retweeted, and I can see it, and it's just like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like they have their own thing going, and seen a couple of people that I know from, not personally know, but seen them around like the valley, and they're in relationships and they have their own OnlyFans page, and I'm just like, a part of me is like, I wonder how they make it work.
Yeah, I've seen some. It's so interesting to that you have people that you follow online and you know things about them in life that you don't know. You don't know them in person. Like I don't know some of these people in person, but I feel like I have some window into their lives that it feels a little weird. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But
No, you're right.
but they put it out on the, and I'm not even talking about OnlyFans, but it's just anything, like we all put ourselves out on social media and stuff. So it's a little weird. I mean, and that'll be talked about a little bit on this episode. So the theme for this episode, we're starting off with a theme on episode 1 of season 2. It's going to be all about friends, which I have done last season. I did a best friends episode with my best friend. But this is just, that was more about like our experiences and our friendship. This is just going to be about our relationship with friends and just the topic in general.
Mhm.
Um, what's your relationship with friends like? Do you have a lot of friends? Do you feel like?
Um, I wouldn't say a lot of friends. I think I usually hang around with like the same people every time I go out. Um, I guess I can include like my coworkers and my friends because I see them all the time. So, we kind of have like our own little group chat, and I guess like our own little inside kind of thing. But like friends, I can probably count them on one hand.
Yeah, I feel like all my friends, especially since I didn't grow up in this area, all my friends I've accumulated through work. Like, just recently I had a little get together for my birthday, and it was like some from this job, some from this job, some from this job, and like that's just how I had um I built up my friend group. But it for me, it's my social anxiety makes it a little hard to make friends. So I don't, that's why I
Hmm.
struggle making friends. And I always tell people like when I was in school and in college, I had a class. It was a public speaking class, which I took to try to help me out with being more comfortable with speaking to people. But there was this one girl in there, and she was very talkative, very like outgoing as a person, or she seemed that way, right? And I said, and before I had gotten into that class, I said, I'm going to make friends with one person this year. Like, I'm going to make a new friend. And I saw her, noticed how she was, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make her my friend. And
Hmm.
I was successful in doing that. I manifested her into my life. We still talk, but like that's what I gotta have to do to make new friends, because I suck meeting people like in general.
Yeah. No, and 100%, like, I think I touched on it, like, during one of our episodes, but, for a while, the large group that I was hanging out with, the only reason I met them was I had gone out to the bar by myself for the first time in, like, you're talking forever, and I took a picture of my shoes, sitting on top of a chair saying, like, "Oh, at a bar by myself," and that's how I met one of my friends, and the circle just kinda grew from there, and it was just like, it's insane because I normally don't step out of my comfort zone to go anywhere alone, whether it be go out to eat, to the movies, whatever. Like, I have to have somebody with me, or else I feel like all eyes are on you and they're judging you.
Hmm.
So it's awkward for me. Like, I'm just awkward.
I love going to the movies alone. Like, I guess I'd rather go with somebody else, but I enjoy going to the movies by myself. I used to think that was weird, but it is what it is. But now going to the bar by myself is something that I can't do. There's
I've
just
only done it twice, maybe.
I wouldn't be like the setting is just like, but again, that's just me. That's just my self-saboteur. Like I just feel like everybody's watching and like judging when in reality, I mean, there's probably some people that are watching and judging, but most people are just minding their business, enjoying their time, living their
Hmm.
life. Um, so we, like I said, making friends is not that easy with me, but have, and I don't think I've experienced this because I kind of have my own way of solving it, but um, have you ever had friends that you had to like break up with?
Oh, hmm. I don't know. I don't think so. I think for me, most of the friendships that I've lost or that feel distant now, it's just it happens naturally.
Yeah,
Um, they just, time steers us in different directions or, that kind of thing. I can't think of any one that, yeah, no, I can't honestly.
that's what I was gonna say. Is like for me, it kind of happened naturally. Like if once you find the people that you really have a strong bond with, and they become your friends, the people that you didn't have genuine bonds with or genuine relationships with, like that kind of gets pushed to the back, and eventually, like you just gradually grow apart. And I feel like that's what
Mhm.
happens with me is like I've never had one instance where I'm like, okay, I just need to stop being friends with this person or like have a conflict with them. It's just most of the time it happens like it just happens naturally. We just grow apart.
Yeah.
Or and
Yeah,
sometimes
and
that's a conscious decision, like you say, like I have to separate myself from this person. And sometimes it is just happens naturally because sometimes people aren't good for you and your life and your goals that you want to move forward with. So you have to decide to just like, I'm moving on from this person.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Absolutely right.
But I do have a bunch of friends that like, I remember I've had a group of friends since elementary school and we were really we were really close all the way up until like maybe freshman year of high school. And then, like people get in groups and cliques and stuff. So you kind of separate. But I, my best friends, it's weird because you have your best friends and then eventually like you kind of grow apart for whatever reasons. And so now like the people from the group that I was originally with in elementary school, the people that were my best friends are no longer my best friends, and like the ones that I was still close with but not like super close with, those are the people that I would feel like are like genuine friends. Like,
Mm.
and it's tough to see as you and I don't know if you still stay in contact with any of your young, like friends from when you were like super younger, but I do, surprisingly. And it's so interesting to see how we've all like grown up and how we've experienced life. Some of them are having children now, because we're in that age where we're supposed to be having children, right?
Yeah.
um but like also how life handles people, it's kind of tough to see because like I have a friend that life has not treated him well for whatever reason that is, like if it's his own actions or whatever, but it's like tough to see your friends, people that you were super close with, and you're like, well, how do you handle that now? Like how it's like you're not in their life anymore, but you used to be such a big part of their life, and now you see them like going downhill, or they're just not in the best place in life, and it's like, how do you react to that, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. Um, unfortunately, God, and if I'm wrong, they're probably gonna kill me. But I can't think of anybody that I've remained friends with through like middle school, elementary, or high school. And knock on wood or whatever, because I could be wrong,
Oh yeah,
but
they'll be in the comments.
oh yeah, 100%. I'll get a phone call. I will get a phone call or a text message or something saying, "You motherfucker, how could you forget?" But I honestly don't cannot think of one. Um, and it is kind of sad, you know. I had this one friend throughout high school, and I thought, you know, it was one of those like, oh, we're gonna be friends forever, and and you know how they say you have those friendships where it's like, you know, it's a real friendship because you could go X amount of time without talking, and you come back and it's like no time has passed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention
Well,
also.
I haven't. I don't think I've met a friend like that either. And I thought I had that with an old friend of mine from high school. We went, I think, almost 3 years with no contact, and then out of the blue, it was like, "Oh, hey, let's go catch up." I think we went to the mall, and it was like no time passed. Like it was just right back to where we left off. And then I think that was maybe 4 or 5 years ago,
I
and
feel
we
like
have yet to get back in contact.
you said 2 or 3 years. I feel like that's a long time though. Like my friends that I feel like we're on that same page. We don't spend that much time apart. Like me and my best friend we can go maybe like a week, 3 week, or maybe let's like 3 weeks at max where we don't speak, and like that's as far as that goes because we still stay in contact. Like we stay in contact through text and stuff, and I've been trying since I moved away from Georgia where I used to live. Like
Mhm.
either every year or every other year, I'll try to either go over there or we'll try to make a trip to see each other. Like we'll meet somewhere in between. So like I've gone over there. We've met up in Louisiana and New Orleans for Pride,
Oh, damn.
along with some other friends. So like I don't know. I appreciate the friends that I do have that are like that, where you can keep in contact with them, and you don't have to be like you don't have to see them every day or talk to them every day and still like have a really good friendship.
Yeah. I need somebody like that.
Well,
Slide in the DMs, guys. I'm just kidding. Just
mm,
kidding.
I don't think you want that.
No.
Okay, so now the next few topics is where things get a little bit more like juicy and scandalous or whatever. But I mean, it
Oh.
comes with the adult territory. You know, you're grown up. And so the next thing that I had on the docket is I worded it as hooking up with friends, but it could be that, or it could also be like hookups that turned into friends.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
either way. Um,
Oh.
I
Okay.
I can't say that I've really have either one of those. Like I've never hooked up with friends, like already established friends and then hooked up with them. And then I mean sometimes I believe that could go bad and good also, but for me I've never experienced that, so I wouldn't know. But also like hooking up with or like becoming friends with your hookups hasn't really
Mm.
happened for me either, because most of the times it's just like that weird thing where like we're just acquaintances, and like we have each
Yeah.
other on social media and when we see each other in public it's like, hi, how are you? But it's like we're not really like we're not friends, we just know each other. So that hasn't happened for me.
Oh boy. Uh, um, surprisingly, and oh god, a lot of my friendships have come from hookups.
Which I mean there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's I mean maybe it's well, no, I was gonna say maybe it's similar in the straight community, but I talk a lot to my straight friends, and they say some of the things that the gays do are wild. Like they could never be friends with somebody that they hooked up with, or they could never be friends with this person, blah blah. And it's like why do you want to put so many restrictions on your life?
Yeah, no, a lot of my friendships have come out of hookups. Um, as far as like hooking up with friends, oh no, that's a tough one. A few, a
And
few,
you remain friends after that?
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I I have never like it's just I don't know how that would work out.
It's a little, it takes work. It takes work. You kind of have to, reestablish like, oh, okay, we're friends. Like,
Like boundaries.
yeah, like we're friends. This is what I want from you out of the friendship, and this is, vice versa. Like you have to listen to what they're telling you too, and respect it. And it's yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and again, I don't see why it's not possible. Like we're all adults, set the boundaries. Like just is what it is. And sometimes that weeds can weed people out. Like some people, there's this thing that I always see like on TikTok or Twitter and stuff like that, where people just talk and they're like, especially with the gays, they're like, oh, I can't find friends that don't want to just hook up with me, blah blah blah. Like it's that's like a way to kind of like weed out who just wants to hook up with you and who just wants to be a friend. If they still stick around after you hook up, then they want to be your friend. And they're just along for the ride, you know.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Figuratively and literally. The next topic I have some experience in. So the final topic to round this up is being friends with your ex.
Oy.
Um, what was that?
Oh man. Okay, so does that work for you though? Like, do you feel like it's good?
Um, yeah, I mean, we're not like super in contact. It's more of a like again, social media friends, you know, like stuff like that. And we haven't hung out or anything. But I don't see why it couldn't work out. Like I tell my friends this all the time. It's like if we're all adults, and as long as the relationship didn't end in horrible terms, then I don't see why you couldn't continue as a friendship, because you started as friends. You need to be friends with your partner before you get into a relationship with them, you know. So I don't see why
Mhm.
that couldn't still happen after the relationship ends.
Yeah, no, you make a valid point, dude.
But are you one of those people that doesn't go by that rule?
I'm a I'm a Capricorn. I'll just throw that out there.
I don't know what that
I
means.
I like what do I like? How do I say this? So out of the people that I've dated or been in serious relationships with, I have not been able to maintain a friendship with anybody. I tried with one multiple times. Like, we would rekindle the friendship and one of us would mess it up and then we try again and it just kept messing like we just kept messing it up. And I think we're better off not interacting, not speaking, because a lot of those memories that we went through or events that we went through were just very bad for the both of us. And my most recent breakup, it's been a while, but he lives in Austin now, and we have dogs together. I have both dogs, but there's still no communication between us. And I think it's better that way because it I don't know, to me it's just like, and I hear your point, being friends before the relationship and being adults and making it work. But to me it's just like if the love died on either end or in both ends or whatever, if the love is gone and we're just stuck in this place of like, I want you to be happy, but I know that we really can't communicate, then I think it's just best to, I guess, cut ties. and let that person, go on, live their life. And if you are meant to be friends, then eventually something will push you back together. And it's like, hey, you know what? I could use your friendship, or hey, we haven't spoken in so long, but like, how are you, kind of thing. And if the friendship's going to come out of it, the friendship's going to come out of it. It's just me personally. I haven't remained friends with an ex. I got back together with an ex one time, if that helps.
I don't think that counts.
I don't think so either. Still ended the same way.
Mm, well, I mean, that's a topic for another episode. Again, I feel like it's just a very case specific thing. Like it depends on how the relationship played out, what happened, and like that in turn decides how it's going to play out after that too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't had too many experiences like that, so I don't have a lot to say on it, but I think it's just, again, you have to make that decision on, did it end well for you, or even if it didn't end well for you, like you have to decide whether or not you're okay with continuing that friendship. And not only you're setting boundaries for them, but you're also setting boundaries for yourself, you know.
Hmm.
So I mean, but again, it's completely okay to just cut people off if you want to be like, I don't need to see you
Peace.
ever.
Peace.
Yeah, you can do that also. I just, in my mind, I can't imagine
Mhm.
doing that. Like I think about that as
Oh.
with regular people also. I can't imagine
Mhm.
myself just like, if you've known somebody for a long time. Okay, this also goes along with like uh friends or family members that have, or that are in relationships also, and they've been together for a long
Mhm.
time, and then they separate, and like you they're dealing with the breakup, right? But you're also dealing with, like, that's somebody that was in your life, and now you're expected for you not to have any contact with them. Like, I don't think that's okay either, you know. Like, yeah, that's a person who's been in your life for a minute, and now you can't talk to them anymore.
It's that's a tough one.
That's, and again, that's if you're friends with that person as well, not if you're not, like, you're just
Yeah.
only cordial, but like if you're friends with them, you want to respect your friendship or your relationship with the family member. But it's like, well, now you have a whole relationship just out the window.
Yeah. I don't think I've never been in that position, but that would be an interesting position to be in, because I don't know how I would handle that. Like, I feel like I would be like, that's my friend, Like, I understand things were bad for you too, but like out of respect for their friendship and my friendship, and then of course like out of respect for you being a family member, but I want to continue that friendship. That's a tough one.
And it also depends on what happened, right? Like, we're not gonna, if it's like abuse or something like that,
Oh
for
yeah, no,
sure don't
no.
entertain
If
that.
it's abuse, hell no. But I mean, like, it's gonna sound fucked up, but like, if their partner was like, I don't know, they cheated on them, be like, girl, I cheat on you too. Shit, that's my friend though. I'm just kidding.
I mean, no, you said what you said.
Oh no, but no, that is a really tough one. I think that'd be
Yes.
an interesting spot.
So I can't, I did like, yeah, I can't just imagine like cutting a specific person out of my life completely. Like, it still blows my mind to think about like people that I went to school with when I was young, and like I'm like, where the hell are they now? Like, that's crazy that we had this person in our life, and then they're just, you never see them ever again. Like, that just blows my mind if I think about it too much.
Yeah, no,
and
they're.
and all I have is their first name. I can't even look them up.
I hate when that happens.
Maybe if I go like look up a yearbook or something, maybe I can find them. Sasha, if you're out there.
The
I
old
don't
MySpace account.
I don't know. It wasn't even my, this was elementary school.
Oh, I think I had MySpace like in fifth and sixth grade.
Mm, how old are you?
28. Wait, yeah, 28. Oh my God, I'm 28.
I think I had MySpace. I didn't have MySpace in fifth grade. What were you doing on MySpace in fifth grade?
being a little kid who wanted to fit in and thought he was so cool because he had a MySpace page. And God, that MySpace page was, I was an awkward looking fucking kid
Oh,
too.
that's something we could have talked about. We could have talked about our top friends on MySpace because you know how
Oh,
that was the thing back then.
when you had to be in everybody's top eight, and if you moved somebody out, means you were fighting with them or they shaded you, or oh my God.
Or you try to show that you like somebody, so you put them in your top. That was so stupid.
Oh God. Do you remember like logging into somebody else's profile and putting like Michael was here W//
No,
age? No,
I I
we used to do that
rem
all the time.
I remember doing that. I mean, I remember people doing that, but I just thought that was so dumb. It's like, or you've been hacked. You know,
Yeah, you've been.
you didn't hack anybody. You knew they gave you their password and you put it and you like you weren't hacked.
Did you ever have those like you would take a photo for somebody because they'd be like, oh, take a picture and then put like, I don't know, Amber was here, Amber owns this or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Do you remember those? Yeah, those that was a cool thing to do in MySpace when I was in fifth grade.
It was so dumb. But that also happened like in real life. Like people would write on people's crap in school and like I
Yeah.
own this or blah blah blah. It's so cringe.
We were a cringy little generation. I mean, I think we were cringy.
We
I
were
mean, compared
cringy.
to like now, they're cringy now.
Okay, hold on. I think for the next episode, we should talk about that. We should talk about because I had already planned an episode for this season talking about generations like Gen Z and millennials and all that. So we can
Yeah.
save that for the next episode. That could be the topic because I have some things to say about it because apparently we're like the Gen Zers are coming for us.
Oh,
They don't like us. They think we're they
no.
no, they think we're cringe, which I agree. We were cringe, but that's
Yeah, but they're cringier
that's
now.
the pot calling the kettle black.
Look at their TikTok dances and shit.
Yeah, and they're
I
bringing
mean, I think
back
I've done like one or two.
like bell bottom jeans,
Oh,
bag. Again, we'll
girl.
save it for the next episode. Okay, so that about does it for the very first episode of season 2. Um, Michael, what are your expectations from the podcast?
Um, hopefully bring entertainment, definitely entertainment. Maybe letting the audience kind of get a say, like getting to pick the next topic or something they want to do. Eventually maybe we could do a live one if the time permits and we find, um a suitable place and whatnot. Um, I think that'd be it. And mainly the entertainment part. How about you?
I never thought about a live one, but a live one would be fun to do that way because then you get actual like live interactions from the people watching. My hopes
Hmm.
are to grow the audience because we're still a very humble um podcast. We don't have a lot of listeners, but the people that do support us, thank you. And the people that do listen. Because there are people do message me and be like, oh, when are you gonna start up the podcast again? Like I actually listened to it, blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm working on it.
Oh,
Uh
nice.
but yeah, just growing the audience. Uh now having you on, it's going to be better because now I don't have to stress out and look for somebody all the time. And then based on how the last batch went, the episodes I did by myself were the worst performing episodes, so I could not do this by myself. I need somebody to like bounce off of, and
Yeah.
also
No, I understand.
I want like, because you are the co-host, like I want you to feel as if you have as much like input into it as I do. Like if you want to talk about something, if it's something random, just throw it in there and we'll talk about it. It doesn't even have to be the topic that we're discussing at the time. And like we're allowed to get off topic. Doesn't matter.
Well, we both work retail, so I feel like we need a lot of like retail episodes and all that good stuff.
I always think about posting retail stories on TikTok because I love retail videos on TikTok, but
Yes.
I'm so like I don't want people to like dox me and they'll be like, oh, send this to your employer, and then I'm like fired. I don't know if they do that because I would never mention where I work or anything, but um I'm always a little scared to do that. But I mean, we could do it. I'm sure we can.
Yeah.
Okay, well that will do it for this week's episode, guys. Michael, I don't know if you want to plug in your social media.
No
You
Twitter anymore. It's not really active anyway. So I do have the Instagram. It's the Mike_Wazowski95 for the Instagram. That's pretty much it. That's all I
let
have
me
now.
look at mine because I'm not sure. Okay, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is Chris Ryder Die, ChrisRysRYDERDIE, and that's it. You don't have to follow me on Twitter. I will be posting the links in the description for um the episodes everywhere that the episode is posted. The first week's episode will not be a visual episode, but hopefully soon we can get the visual going, because I feel like a lot more people enjoy watching than listening.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Give me like a week or so. I'll have a full on camera and ring light. Robert can attest. My camera looks like I'm sitting in a dungeon right now.
I mean, you don't need a new camera. You could just do. You have an iPhone. You have a newer iPhone than I do.
Yeah, that I do.
Just the light.
We'll go live while I'm working. I'll put my camera on a customer and be like, "Can you believe what this customer's doing to me right now?" We'll put on the
Don't
podcast and
don't. Yeah, you don't need to get yourself fired.
no, just kidding. We won't go that extreme, but
All right, guys. We'll check in with you on. I would say next week, but I don't know when this is going up. So we'll check in with you guys in the next episode.